So, you've seen some cool videos on YouTube or Instagram with the hashtag or title Run and Gun, and you've fallen in love with a whole new sport. But the problem is, you don't know what you need to do it with, you don't know how it works, or where to find one. Today, I'm going to help you out with that. My name's Taylor, and this is tsmitharmory. Let's get going. Before we get started, there's a few fundamentals that I'd like to tell you before you get this Pandora's box of a shooting sport opened. Run and gun is for people who want to challenge themselves both physically and mentally. It is not for people who get frustrated easily with change or challenge or broken gear. It is for people who like to be around other fellow Second Amendment supporters. It's not people who lack integrity or honesty or have a little bit of a problem dealing with the honor system. Run and gun is for people who want to prepare to defend themselves or their families in life or death situations. Run and gun is not for people who believe that there will never be any type of zombie apocalypse. Okay, so if you're still with me, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that run and gun might be for you. So, we're going to cover 4 topics in the video. The first is going to be, what is run and gun? The second is going to be, how does the scoring work? Third, what do you need to do a run and gun? And then the last, how do you sign up for a run and gun? So, what is a run and gun? Well, a run and gun is like 3-gun minus the shotgun meets a mud run. It's kind of a mixed mash of sports, but it's a shooting sport to say the least. The distance travel is generally 3 kilometers to 20 kilometers, although most of the time they're 5K, so about 3 miles. Along that distance, so we'll say you run in the 5K or 3 mile distance running gun. Along that distance, you'll have several different shooting stages or obstacles like this one at Sons of the Desert Run and Gun spread out along the way. At the shooting stages, you'll use your pistol or rifle or both to complete a course of fire that's been given to you by a range officer. Once you complete the shooting stage, your range officer will write your score down on a card, and then you'll begin your trek onto the next stage. This might sound a little bit intimidating, but just bear with me for a moment. This summer, or this fall, whenever I did the WTF biathlon, there was a group of about 6 people in their 50s to 60s who were walking the event that I kind of bumped into along the way. And they were covering the same distance, but they weren't competing. They weren't, trying to push themselves really hard. They were traveling as a group, just walking from stage to stage. If there was an obstacle, they couldn't complete, like climbing over a big wall or taking a zip line, they would just go around that obstacle. For them, it was more of a social event. And they were gucking up and making jokes and having a good time as they waited to take the turn on each stages. While one was going, the rest of the group would watch and root them on, and so it was really a good social event for those guys. On the other end of the spectrum, there are people who are hyper competitive in the sport, and their goal is to win and do the best that they can. This is great too. This is maybe more where I'm at. At least I try to be hyper competitive. Not so good at the winning part of it. But then there's also everywhere in between. But one thing that's common between everybody in the sport is a respect for one another and a willingness to help one another. If it's your first run and gun or your 100th run and gun, if you find yourself in some type of predicament and you need some type of help, somebody will be nearby, you can ask them and they will lead you to some sort of solution. Another element that presents a bit of a challenge during run and gun, and not something to be fearful of, but something to help add a new element to the game and make you kind of prioritize and strategize, is you are to run the event or walk the event, complete the event, unassisted. So what does that mean, unassisted? So that means any ammunition, water, snacks, comic books, whatever you need to complete the event, you need to carry with you. So that may mean carrying 150 rifle rounds, 150 pistol rounds, water, the gear to hold that, whatever tools. So, you might want to carry a a boar snake with you or something like that. So if you fall down, stick your rifle in the mud. You can clear that mud out there and keep going. You'll also need to know how to fix your equipment. So if you have, I don't know, say a sling break during an event. Look at that. You can know either how to fix that or fix whatever malfunction that you have with your weapon so that you can proceed on. Either way, fight or laugh your way through one of these events and you'll better yourself both mentally and physically. You'll know your gear and your weaponry much better. You'll know how to handle this equipment during really stressful situations, and you'll find all the different holes in your mental and your physical game that you weren't able to find during training. Or you'll find out what you need to be training on that you haven't been training on. So, scoring. Scoring is typically 50% the amount of your run time, which is going to be your time that you spend traveling from stage to stage, cumulatively added up, and then the other 50 is going to be all your stage time added up. Now, if you get to a stage and there's somebody that you're waiting on in line and you can't run that stage yet, you'll carry a stopwatch with you. You'll record that time, and that will be deducted from your overall time. There's also occasionally bonus stages that will, provide some opportunity for reward to either reduce your run time or reduce your penalties. Conversely, there can also be penalties sometimes, which may be either you're only allowed to take so many shots, and every additional shot results in 2 seconds added onto your time, or maybe hitting an innocent target that you're not supposed to, and that can be like a major penalty that adds 15 seconds to your time. But the score is basically 50% of your run time added up and 50% of your stage time added up. So the next topic is gear. What gear do you need? And every guy out there is all about the best gear. So this can be a little bit intimidating, and it's going to be a little bit different for everybody else, and it's something that everybody's very opinionated on, and rightfully so, because most people who have done many of these events, they've honed their gear down to something that works exactly perfectly for them and the way they operate. But just because something works perfectly for one person doesn't mean it works perfectly for everybody else. To run a run and gun, you don't need a bunch of gear. Basically, all you really need is a rifle and a pistol. You'll need a holster to safely keep your pistol holstered, and a sling to hold your rifle, because you're going to be traveling some distance. You're not going to want to carry it in your hands. 2 or 3 mags for each your rifle and your pistol, and a backpack. You can reload those magazines between each stage and take ammo out of a box. You can keep some water in there. You can keep your tools in there. That's all you need. Now, if you've already done that and you're ready to upgrade, or you're going to your first one and you do have a little bit of coin to spend, there are some good budget options that will get you started without breaking the bank, and will kind of encompass most of your needs. So what I've ran most of my run and guns for the 2019 season in has been a Condor, and Condor, that's your budget brand right there. It's all relatively reliable. It's not the fastest, most high-speed gear out there, but it's a good price point, and it'll get most of the job done. What I used for most of my season was this rig right here. So this will carry 6 rifle mags and 6 pistol mags on the front. It's got a bladder in the back where that will carry some water, and that'll be the foundation. So that would be my chest rig. So the thing about these chest rigs, whether you use this Condor one or any other chest rig, is going to be train with it. Load it up with whatever you're going to have in it, make sure it fits right, and go run around. The last thing you want to do is be 2 miles into some run and find out that there's something that's poking you in the back, and you're bruised and cut up, and you got some really uncomfortable stuff going on. So train with those chest rigs. Another option, but on a little more expensive side, is you can get into plate carriers. So this is a Cry Precision plate carrier. This has got S-Tac Kiwi mag pouches on the front. It's got a core hydration carrier in the back. It's got ballistic plates in it. It's got Blue Force geared mag pouches on the side. This one's weighted for a little bit different competition than run and gun, but without the plates in it, this is light, super fast, super efficient gear. But I would not recommend anybody, buy something like this for their first running gun. Below the chest rig is the belt. You're going to have a belt. On that belt, you're going to keep your holster for your pistol, some magazine holsters so you can make quick emergency reloads throughout the stage. And I highly recommend some type of dump bag. That way you can keep extra ammo or spent mags in there throughout the stage. This is a Blade Tech belt with Blade Tech holsters and a Condor dump bag. Budget friendly, good stuff. And this is all linked down in the description below, so you don't have to worry about searching for it. Just look down there, and you'll see the list of all the budget items that I'm talking about. Just like the plate carrier and that kind of upgrade, there are also more expensive belt options. These are super fast, super comfy, but you get into more of a battle belt where you've got a little bit nicer carriers on there. My dump pouch is folded up. A first aid kit, definitely in this sport, it's it's wise to carry a first aid kit for yourself or somebody else, as well as a tourniquet, just in case an accident happened. A nice Safariland holster. You can go nuts on these, but once again, this right here, I would not recommend anybody on their first running gun purchase something like this. This is not on the budget end, and they need to figure out, you want to figure out what works for you first and what you do and you don't like. I've got a whole nother video that's actually going to be linked right here, or here, or here, or here. I don't know where will get linked. I don't do the linking, but there will be a video linked somewhere where I go through all the budget gear and watch that and check that out, and then from there kind of make a decision on what kind of gear you think that you should start your first running gun with. If none of it makes sense, or you have some questions or want some clarifications, because it can get kind of confusing when you're buying different pieces and bolting them together, comment down below or get in touch with me on Instagram or on the website, both of which are also tsmitharmory, and I'll help work you through that and at least kind of give you a little bit of guidance on which way to head. The most important thing, though, with no matter what gear you get, is train with it. Get your gear on and practice with it. Practice, whether that's in the house, in the mirror, practicing your draw, running around your block. If you're at the range, don't feel weird about it. At first, it can be kind of odd, but just get comfortable in your gear. You will thank me when you're on the course and you see somebody else who's struggling with something broken or something uncomfortable, and you've already worked all those kind of kinks out. Okay, so we know what a running gun is. We know how the scoring works. We know what kind of gear we need. The next is going to be, where do we sign up? Well, that's a good question. Where do you sign up? Right now, there's a little bit of a hole in the running gun market where it can be difficult to find an event. So, in Texas, there's a website called texasrunninggun.com. You can check them out. You can do searches for running gun on Eventbrite and on Facebook, or you can go to tsmitharmory.com and sign up for the newsletter, where we'll be sending out all the running gun events that we find, and we'll also be adding to our calendar all the events that I'm signed up for, as well as events that I'm not signed up for in Texas. Like I said earlier, all the products mentioned today, linked down in the description below. Go check those out. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell button, get those notifications, those new videos come out. Be the first one to like, be the first one to comment, and like this video too before you leave. Hit the like button. Comment down below, what kind of gear are you using for running gun? What kind of questions do you have about the gear I have? Is there any kind of gear that you've been thinking about that I haven't talked about and you'd like to see? Let me know and I'll get it in front of you. If you're watching this the day it comes out, I'm in San Antonio at the first TAC Fit competition, and I'll be using this super high speed belt rig I just showed you, as well as this weighted plate carrier. And in this one, in this competition, you gotta wear weighted vests, so that's about 20 pounds on the vest plus the ammo, so it'll be a little bit heavier than what I'm accustomed to, but it should be a lot of fun. And once that we get done filming that, we'll be sure to release that content to you as well. that's all I've got for today. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace.